Hi guys, it's Misty from the Book Rat, and it's time for my June wrap-up. Actually, it's past time. I should have had this up by now, but I didn't. So this is a look back at what I read in June, and a little bit on what I thought with a thumbs up, thumbs down rating. And I've already said June was a little bit abysmal for me. I had a lot of things I needed to read, and I didn't read most of them, which is why a good chunk of the stack ended up in July's TBR. So can't really tell you much about those yet, but what I actually did read, limited though it may be, The Lost by Sarah Beth Durst, which gets a definite thumbs up, and there was really no question in my mind that it would. I did a little excerpt of this if you would like to kind of get a feel for the style, but basically this is Sarah's first foray into adult storytelling, and I do think it would make a good sort of crossover, so if you've liked her YA, I think you'll still like this. And it had what I've come to expect of her, which is a somewhat magical realist take, very layered and kind of exploring something. So in this case, exploring grief and feeling lost and sort of losing your way, losing yourself, along with lost objects and lost bits of your life. So really, really interesting sort of meddling of literal and metaphorical lost with characters that I loved and situations that I loved. In a weird way, it reminded me of this Canadian TV show from when I was a kid called, I think it was just called Odyssey, but it might not have been, but it was based on Homer's Odyssey, but it was retold following a young boy who was essentially in a coma. I'm sorry if that's a spoiler for anyone, but it took place in this sort of other world, and all of the sort of real life issues were brought into this other world, and I loved it as a kid. It was really, really sad when they stopped airing it, and have tried to find it online since. This had elements that reminded me of Odyssey because the things that I liked about Odyssey happened in this. The way that things were approached were very similar, and so it kind of hit those same notes, and maybe part of what I liked about it was that it gave me that little bit of a nostalgic feeling, but yeah, basically just nailed it for me. Really, really can't wait until the second book. I also read Vicious by V.E. Schwab. Here we go. This was the month's Wednesday YA book. We actually did an adult pick. It was kind of a special themed month. And I did read a physical copy, but I wasn't thinking about the fact that I hadn't recorded this yet, and I loaned it to my best friend's son. So there's what it looks like. I'm going to go ahead and put this down because the battery is dying, because I play with it too much. But basically, if you missed the Wednesday YA Twitter chat about it, loved it, loved everything about it. It felt effortless and just flowed beautifully. I love how Victoria kind of just dived into these characters who are villains, both arguably are villains. And I'm a fan of villains, especially when it comes to the sort of superhero genre. Kind of watching them go at each other in this little cat and mouse game and seeing their justifications and things like that. It basically hit all of the notes that I love when you're building a character, and especially a somewhat anti-hero character. It really dived into the black and white. It was just really interesting and fun, and a revenge story, which I love revenge stories, so basically everything about it was something that worked for me, with the added bonus of Victoria's excellent writing. Can't go wrong, and I believe it's being made into a movie, and yes, definitely excited about that, because I kept thinking it'd be perfect. It'd be perfect. Actually, I really wish that it'd be a TV show or a series so that they can kind of really take their time with it and expand it, but either way, eager to see it brought to life. Those are the only two books I finished. That's sad. I did read a little bit of Amy Unbounded by Rachel Hartman. This was starting over for me. I started from the beginning and was determined to finish it this time, and once again got distracted by something and put it down and forgot about it, which is bad because I really like it. It's really cute, but yeah, this is the second time that I've failed, so I'm going to try to do this. Actually, I'm going to try to read this today. I say that and I know it's not going to happen, but I'm going to try. Gonna tell myself I'm gonna try. I don't know. I was just failing across the board this month. It's a graphic novel. It wouldn't have taken that long. And the other thing that I didn't finish reading, but am still reading, so this wasn't a fail, I just have stalled and didn't read anything for a good week and a half, was The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson. This one is out now. I was really hoping to get my thoughts for you guys up before it came out, but I failed on that, so if you have been eager for this one, you can pick it up now. I'm liking it so far. I'm a little over halfway through. Very quick moving, but not done with it yet, so I can't really say too much more than that. But it will be read and finished soon because I've got to get a move on. So that was my fairly abysmal month of reading in June. I should just plan for it. I always say that June is my busiest month at work, and I know that I'm not going to get a lot done because on top of it being busy, the weather's finally nice. I want to go out and do stuff and see sunlight. July needs to be a productive month to make up for the not productive month that June was, but that's what I read in June. Let me know what you think of the books in the comments and how your June went, what some of the standouts were, whether they were good or bad. And of course, let me know what you think of the books that I read and, how you get yourself out of a slump, how you get back into a good reading schedule. I think we're going to have a funk talk because I'm definitely in one and it's not going anywhere. But that's all for now. Until next time, thanks for watching and as always, happy reading!